I have been icing my for the past 2 hours. Sexual side effects of ADHD medication.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I tried every medication for ADD that you could possibly think of. Basically the popular ones, I've tried it. Not trying it, I've tried it. Non-stimulants, I've tried it. And for the most part, my life is pretty great. I've moved out of my parents' house. I have finished a 1,200-page novel that I took 3 years to finish. It took me 6 weeks this time. I'm down 50 pounds. Did I mention I'm out of my parents' house? And yeah, I feel great. I feel in control of my life. That being said, I almost went to the hospital once and checked into the ER once. So this is that process and what it looked like. I just have to preface this by saying this video is in no way medical advice. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist nor a board-certified doctor. Are doctors board-certified? I am not a doctor nor a trained psychiatrist. Let's talk about stimulants. The Adderall, the Concerta, the Ritalins of the world. Stimulants put me on this kind of neurochemical roller coaster. The first misconception is, for me at least, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not on my medication. It wasn't the smooth, constant line I was looking for. I was hyper productive. And then the medication wears off. And you get scared because you don't want to lose this momentum you've gained for the day. So you take it again and you push that crash off until nighttime. And that's where I'd be exhausted. That's where I would smoke weed to get rid of the headache, or smoke weed to just not come down. Not from the high of the drug. It's not like you're chasing that physiological high of, oh, my body's tingling, I feel great. I was chasing clarity. I was chasing a feeling of normalcy. My life looked entirely different on medication than off it. It's like if you put contacts in and all of a sudden by 10 o'clock they dissolve and all of a sudden you can't see anymore and everything's blurry again. That's what it felt like to me. Sure, there were giant mood swings. Sure, I was finding myself exhausted. I can focus now. I'm in shape. I'm working out. My grades are better. I'm reading a shit ton. I'm doing what I love. So what? So what? And that's not responsible. I had taken non-stimulants when I was as early as 12, and I felt they didn't really get the job done because I didn't feel them. I had to tell myself, I need stimulants because I feel it. And then when I feel it, I focus. My psychiatrist said I shouldn't be having crashes and I shouldn't be having mood swings. That is a symptom of being overprescribed on ADD medication.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
In the process of switching medications, switching from amphetamine to methylphenidate, instant release to extended release, it gets confusing. And I had very innocently mistaken the extended release dosage for my instant release dosage. So I took 3 extended release pills as if they were instant release. At 2 in the morning, 1:30, 2 in the morning, my heart was racing when I was in an idle position. I was sitting down editing and my heart was beating out of my chest. My temples were pulsating and I had to walk to my parents' room and say, I don't feel good. I think I might even be having a heart attack. And they took me to the ER. I went there. I sat down and the doctor just told me to kind of wait it out, drink some water. And I was fine. But I was really scared. So I switched to methylphenidate. Methylphenidate was essentially another option for people who didn't really respond well to amphetamines. Took a pill in the morning and it would wear off at 10. And the mood swings kind of went away. The general tiredness went away. And all the things I was accomplishing as far as focus, healthy habits, self-care, they all remained the same without the negative side effects. But 4 days in, I noticed something. I got really horny. And it just hornier and hornier and hornier. My skin was sensitive. I I couldn't really control myself because I was so turned on. And on the fourth day, it didn't go away. And then it started to hurt.
It is like 6 in the morning, and I have been icing my for the past 2 hours.
I was quite literally surfing online with an ice pack on my crotch. And it was rare, but people were finding that Concerta and Adderall were making them incredibly horny. And I had non-anemic priapism.
Hi, I'm Dr. Winston Love, and I'm Professor Hammerstein. For the purposes of entertainment and modesty, Danny hired us to explain to you what non-ischemic priapism is. Priapism is a persistent erection, not associated with sexual stimulation or desire, that lasts more than 5 hours. In untreated cases, blood can become trapped inside the penis and can turn hypoxic, leading to permanent nerve damage. Fortunately for Danny, he was of the 60% of non-ischemic priapism cases that resolves on its own. He did not need to go to the ER and will be fine after a few hours of writhing in pain and icing his genitals.
I think I might be out of the woods, but me. It really sucked.
I thought I was at a point where nothing was going to work anymore. That I had to choose between my sex organ and my ADD medication. And for someone who doesn't have ADD, that's an easy choice. But I was almost willing. It really felt like, do you want your or do you want your hopes and dreams? After I got out of college, I was like, I'm going to go natural. I also went traveling, so filling my prescription when I was living abroad was actually kind of impossible. In that process of trying to go natural, I did learn a few benefits that I have added into my medication regimen. High protein breakfasts, high protein diets, fish oil supplements, sports drinks when I'm focusing. Sports drinks are the easiest. If you have ADD and don't want to medicate, if you have ADD and are on medication, sipping a sports drink is the best thing. A piece of dark chocolate, it is. If that is amazing. It's magic to me. Say I had to edit a video. After 2-3 hours, my brain feels sluggish, or it takes a little more processing power to do basic things. I start sipping on some Powerade. I have a bar of chocolate. 5 minutes later, I feel rejuvenated. That, I think, was the easiest trick I learned in regulating my ADD. After about 1.5 years of not being on my medication, I was slower, I was gaining weight, I was unmotivated, and I was really frustrated because I wasn't able to focus on the things that I truly cared about. I could practice guitar for 15 minutes at a time, and I physically, no matter the amount of willpower, couldn't bring myself to a quality of focus that was conducive to learning. It really felt like I was driving a car of the Focus Mobile, and my priority was just on maintaining focus rather than on the material I was focusing on. I could understand if it was a bully, it was a teacher, it was an external force, but when you're your worst enemy, when you're your worst own enemy, getting in the way of basic human adult responsibilities like taking care of yourself and pursuing your passions, it is exhausting. So that's where my head was at. And coming to speak with my psychiatrist, I learned ADD medication shouldn't make you feel better. It should just make you do better. And that's where we landed on Wellbutrin. It's a non-stimulant, off-label product that we use to treat my ADD. I really started to get an understanding of my psychological condition when I started sharing with my psychiatrist issues I'd had with PTSD. I had researched that ADD often can stem from PTSD. I was confused as to whether I was born with ADD or I had adopted ADD from the consequences of PTSD. I know that's a lot of acronyms in a short second, but my psychiatrist recommended Wellbutrin as a way to address both. And then it started working. It almost felt like taking a placebo. You take it and there's no physiological sensation that happens. My brain doesn't start tingling. My body doesn't start tingling. There are no sparkles in what I see. I was just able to focus. And suddenly the car shot into gear and everything was working properly. The pistons were firing in my brain, and I wasn't so concerned about monitoring and babysitting my ability to focus. I was just focusing on the things I loved. For me, at least, I knew the potential side effects were worth being able to focus. And if that's something that scares you, it's totally respectable, totally understandable. ADD is very different in many people. I'm incredibly sensitive to medication. Some people need a lot of medication. Some people don't need any medication. And it's constantly changing. Stimulants worked for me for a while until they didn't. Non-stimulants didn't work. Now they do. I'm constantly open to learning more about this disorder and learning about myself in regards to it. Like, if you really resonate with the symptoms of someone with ADD, take the time, do yourself the service. Don't do it to prove people wrong. Do yourself the service of understanding what ADD is, how the body responds to medication, how your body needs certain diets, certain supplements to properly function on a neurological level. Take your medication responsibly. Seek therapeutic help if you feel like you need it. If you're going to take it, be responsible. And if you know you're going to abuse it, just know you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting people who actually need it and are willing to take it responsibly. But this is what I've learned. This is what I've witnessed. This is what I've experienced. I hope this helps. I hope this kind of breaks up any misconceptions people may have. I can make a whole video on other ADD-related topics. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm hoping to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I can make it my full-time job, which is a dream of mine. And yeah, I know this video was a little more serious, but I do hope it helps someone. I hope it informs someone. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude. Yeah. Fast.